Death Race 3 Inferno is the third installment in the Death Race film series, continuing the saga of the lethal high-octane prison race. The story begins with Carl Frankenstein Lucas, a notorious driver who is just one race away from winning his freedom. Lucas, played by Luke Goss, has become a legendary figure in the Death Race circuit, a deadly competition where prisoners compete in modified, weaponized vehicles for a chance at freedom. The movie opens with Lucas and his pit crew, which includes his loyal mechanic Goldberg, navigator Katrina, and a few others, preparing for what they hope will be their final race. Lucas has won 4 races, and according to the rules, if he wins one more, he will be granted his freedom along with his team. However, the sadistic Wayland Corporation, which owns the rights to the Death Race, has other plans. Wayland Corporation has sold the rights to the Death Race to a wealthy, ruthless businessman named Niles York, who intends to expand the race to an international audience. York relocates the event from the confines of Terminal Island to the vast deserts of South Africa, where the race will be broadcast globally. The stakes are higher, the competition more intense, and the danger far greater. Lucas and his team are forcibly transferred to the new location, where they are introduced to a new set of opponents, each more vicious than the last. York's plan is not just to see Lucas compete, but to make sure he dies in the process. He offers Lucas a deal: throw the race, and he will spare his crew. If Lucas refuses, York promises to kill his entire team. Faced with this impossible choice, Lucas is torn between his desire for freedom and his loyalty to his crew. The race itself is brutal, with drivers navigating through treacherous desert terrain while facing attacks from both competitors and the harsh environment. Each car is armed to the teeth, and the drivers must use both skill and savagery to survive. As the race progresses, alliances are formed and broken, with drivers willing to do anything to cross the finish line. Lucas, now fully embodying the persona of Frankenstein with his disfigured mask, fights not just for his life but for the lives of his crew. The action is relentless, with explosive set pieces, high-speed chases, and deadly combat sequences. As the race continues, it becomes clear that York's promise of freedom is a lie, and that the only way out is through victory. In the final race, Lucas faces off against his deadliest rival, 14K, a skilled and ruthless driver with ties to the Triads. The two engage in a spectacular showdown, with Lucas narrowly managing to outmaneuver and defeat 14K. Despite the victory, York betrays Lucas, revealing that he never intended to let him go free. However, Lucas and his team have anticipated York's betrayal. In a thrilling twist, they manage to turn the tables on York, using the Death Race's own technology against him. York is ultimately killed, and Lucas and his team escape, leaving behind the Death Race and the life of violence that came with it. The film ends with Lucas and his crew driving off into the sunset, finally free from the brutal world of the Death Race. The movie closes on a note of uncertainty, as Lucas, no longer bound by his identity as Frankenstein, faces a future where he must find a new purpose beyond the race that defined him. Death Race 3 Inferno is a high-octane action film that combines intense racing sequences with a story of survival, loyalty, and betrayal, culminating in a satisfying conclusion to Carl Lucas's journey. Subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon to get notifications on our new videos.